Shalom. Allah start out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles, and the elders of great millstone, salutations to the oath elect, this pushing is truth. Across the four corners of the earth, all faith, truth, and sincerity. This I'm a one abide back again, that sitting. This one going to, about, the times that's, ahead. A lot of trouble, bad times, evil times are ahead that's coming to America, Babylon the Great. Going forward, a lot of people are about to experience a lot of pain, a lot of sorrow, it's going to be a lot of people dying around you, in front of you. Times coming to where, all our anarchy is going to be in the streets of America, Babylon Great, going for soon, so that's what's ahead, and nothing good is, is nothing good is come. Excuse me, I'll say this. Nothing, nothing's good is gonna be coming forward for America. Nothing, as go forward. Nothing's good is gonna happen in America. A lot of things is gonna, be very bad. A lot of people out here are just gonna have to be facing a lot of, a lot of trouble. It's ahead for a lot of people, troubled times. And all the ones that's gonna make it through the, even right now, but as we go forward, as it gets worse, all the ones that are gonna make it out of the times of Jacob's trouble, and the times of the great tribulations, the only ones that are gonna make it out of and be delivered is the so-called Negro, Latino natives, the elect of Israel, the Israelites. Only the elect of Israel, of the Israelites, is gonna be delivered by the Lord Yahushua. Who y'all people call Jebus. The name of the Lord is Yahushua. That's the only one that's gonna be delivered by the Lord Yahushua, in these times. Hopefully I'm probably righteous number, and be delivered. But we'll start out with 2 Ezra 8:50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked it in great pride. So that's what's coming. For many great miseries are coming. Great miseries are ahead, for a lot of people here in America, Babylon the Great. I say a lot of sorrow, a lot of pain, a lot of, dealing with, losing this and, and all our anarchy in the streets. Like I say, these people out here, these proudful people, in these last days, the last days of the so-called white man, East of my kingdom world, a lot of people, like I say, face a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. These proud, these men and women out here, it's going to face a lot of horrific, a lot of horrific deaths, and like I say, the judgment is going. The judgments of Lord Yahweh, it's gonna come down on this place, and a lot of people not gonna expect this, for a lot of things just to be, happening, going down, or a lot of things is gonna get chaotic in America, Babylon Great. A lot of people out here gonna, start losing their minds. I say it's gonna get bad going forward. It's building up. It's building up to that now. We in that time, but like I say, it takes a major event. Something gonna happen where the power go out, or a major disaster. it levels a city, a town. I'll say a city. I say a city. Cities. I say cities. Not just one city, but cities get leveled by a disaster. Something happens where major. Something major, right? Major event. But things just drastically turn for the worse for America Babylon Great. It's not gonna get better. A lot of people just gonna experience a lot of I say the judgments of the Lord Yahweh Bashan Yahushua. They're gonna face those. Those judgments gonna come. It's gonna take a lot of people by surprise, man. How bad it's gonna get. Because I said these people are proud out here, man. They very proud. They think that things are gonna continue to be as it is, and these people out here walking around, they chest poked out, and they're like head high. They don't think they think they got it all figured out. They think that everything gonna be okay in America. And the apostles and the elders and brother Graham Millstone prophesied and warning for years that the Lord Yahweh Shai is gonna be here. It's gonna bring His wrath and judgment down this place in America, Babylon the Great, man. And like I said, it's gonna be a horrible judgments out here, man. Horrible, like I said, horrible deaths. That's coming, man. We in those times, but we'll go from there. Slide. 2nd Ezra 15:14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. So woe means destruction. Destruction to the world, destruction to the so-called white man, East Sodomite's world. This is the time that we're in of it. It's coming down. This place it's coming down, man. And them that dwell therein, when I say, the people that's not, the unrighteous, the ungodly, is gonna have to deal with the wrath and judgment of Lord Yahweh Bashan Shah. That's what's coming. And like I said earlier, not too long ago, only the elect of the so-called Negro, Latino natives, which are the Israelites, is going to escape the wrath and judgment of the Lord Yahweh. And the Lord Yahweh, it's going to escape the wrath and judgment of the Lord Yahweh Shah in these times. Excuse me. It's going to escape the wrath and judgment of the Lord Yahweh Shah. And receive mercies from the Lord Yahweh Shah in these times. Going forward, but only the ones that's not of the righteous number, the ungodly, those that Negro, Latino natives, that didn't repent, it's gonna be destroyed. That's what it is. You got the 2/3 of Israelites and you got the elect. The 1/3, 144,000, that's gonna have their mercies. Gonna have that mark of exempt, that the wall, that mark of exempt, on the elect, they're gonna have that the wall on them, a mark of exemption. Be checked off like, oh, you good, oh, you not, oh, you not, oh, you not, oh, you good, you good, you not, it's I say the Lord Yahweh knows who's elect and who ain't, and I say, in these times, either you're not the elect or not. Either Lord Yahweh gonna have mercy on you or not. And that's the times we in. But next verse, 2nd Ezra 15:15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So that's that's the times that we in. Right now, got the situation in Iran, and what's going on. But then, like saying here in America, Babylon Great, gonna have people, swords in hand, uprising. People, the modern day sword is the gun. And they can have like a sword too, like a machete or something. But like I said, the modern day sword is the gun. People gonna be, like I said, people gonna be out here. Man, it's gonna get wild out here, man. When things are, not affordable, And people gonna do what they gotta do to survive. They're gonna rob, they're gonna steal, they're gonna kill, they're gonna do what they gotta do. When things are not affordable. That's the times we're heading into, man. And I said this, we'll see, because everything is a build up to it, but like something major event gonna happen to where things can change drastically in each cities in America, Babylon rate. You know, whether what I'm saying, a major disaster or the power going out, well, it may be, but something's gonna happen to where one day, all out hell's gonna break out. All out hell's gonna break loose out here in America, in the cities of America, Babylon the Great. Each states. It's gonna get crazy. And it ain't gonna be no turning back or slowing down. Or slowing down. I say it's gonna be just full fledged go. It's it. It's over. Ain't no going back to normalcy. Now, like I say, once that do happens, the anarchy, people out in the streets, because like I said, once this dollar collapse, once this U.S. dollar, this dollar collapse, this stock market collapse, which is gonna be the crash of all crashes, because once that happens, all people are just gonna lose it, and then but the problem to the solution is gonna be what the CHIP, the chip, which is the mark of the beast. It's gonna be mandatory for people to buy and sell. You're gonna have people take it too, so they get back to and get back to some normalcy. But it ain't gonna be no normalcy, because like I say, Lord Yahshua gonna turn and destroy those who take that chip, the chip which is the mark of the beast. In this verse, 2 Ezra 15:16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their action shall stand in the power. So like I was just saying, people, gonna be out here, it's gonna get so bad out here. People gonna be, invading one another. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be invading, your neighbors, They ain't not regard your neighbors, whoever it may be. They not regard kings or princes or whoever, that's in position, because they ain't want to hear that shit. Folks don't want to hear that shit. You lied to them, all this and that. People don't want to hear nothing. Your mayors or whoever, you city councilman or whoever, in position of power within your cities, your governor, the governor that's in position. I don't want to hear what you're talking about. It's gonna get that crazy out here, man. People do not want to hear that shit. People don't want to hear what you got to say, because they can't, access, their money, where they can't buy stuff, or, what I'm saying, they're not getting no type of help or aid, man. They're going to do it themselves, by any means. And that's the times that we're heading into. But that's verse. 2 Ezra 15:17, man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able. So, when all hell break loose here in America, Babylon the Great, as we go forward, it's building up to that. Once that happens, once it happens, you're gonna have the martial law troops. It's gonna come through and shut parts of the cities down, block off certain parts of the city that you can't go. You ain't gonna be able to go to certain parts of the city, man. They're gonna block off parts of the city, but people can't enter here or there. Especially those rich folks, in the Edomites areas. That's gonna definitely be blocked off. I know, I'm here in Alabama. Mount Brook. I know Mount Brook. Them areas like that gonna be blocked off. It's gonna be hard to get through that type. The rich folks in neighborhoods areas. They got that money. They're gonna be blocking, places like that. In parts of the city. In Birmingham. Where I'm from. So, and what I'm saying, cities in America. Because like I said, right now you can move around and do this and do that, go to different parts of the city or go to another state, state and city, all that. But it's gonna get to a point where you ain't gonna be able to. It's gonna be shut down, locked down. Yeah, it's gonna be, a whole different ball game. It's gonna be a different situation. That's that's gonna come about, man, once that happens, man. You know, and apostles and the elders, Brother Graham and Stone, been telling you for years about this. That's gonna happen according to the scriptures. You know, and once it happens, it's gonna be too late for a lot of people. You know, to try to repent to the Lord Yahushua and who y'all call Jeebus, but you gotta have a name. The Lord Yahweh Yahushua, you gotta have a name, man. You know, and like I say, and I said, but like I said, it's all about the elect. That's gonna be that's gonna make it through these times. You know, if you're a part of that righteous number, Lord Yahushua have mercy upon you. But on to the next verse. 2 Ezra 15:18, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So for because of the pride of the city, like I said, these proud for people here in America, Babylon Great. They can't be, you can't tell them shit. They think they got, like I said, they think they got it all figured out, or whatever it may be. They just got a proudful look. Looking at you all crazy. Think you supposed to be scared or something, whatever it may be. Puffed up. Think they tough. But man, shit. Once the Lord Yahushua, the Lord Yahushua brings that judgment down, when stuff start happening, say a major disaster or the power go out, whatever it may be, you ain't gonna be so how tough you be then. You go have wild, you gonna have newly created beasts, wild animals out here, getting at you, proud for people. I say, man, hey man, the Lord Yahushua, hey man, the Lord Yahushua is a power to be feared, man. It's a power to be taken seriously. Ain't nothing to be played with, man. And I say that time coming when the Lord Yahushua, the Lord Yahushua is gonna unleash that, that judgment upon the judgment upon the place of America, Babylon Great. Newly created beasts, wild animals, and so forth gonna be out here, in the streets of America, getting at people, man. Tearing your flesh up. That's how bad it's gonna get out here, man. And a lot of people don't believe the apostles and elders, Brother Great Millstone that teaches truth. That's telling them about these things that's gonna come, But hey, you got those. Hey, I gotta see it. You know what I'm saying? I gotta see it. But once you see it, it's gonna be too late. It's gonna be too late. That judgment will come down on your head. If it come upon you when you least suspect it. A lot of you think that this place America is gonna keep going on like it is. We're gonna see how things play out for this year. We might go into We'll see. We might go into 2027. But a lot of things could happen this year. Well, this place could be rapidly just falling down, going down quickly, more and more. To where, like I said, all that anarchy could happen soon in the streets of America. Going forward, to the summer and to the fall. So, that's the time that we're in, because, that's the time that we're in, man. Like what I just said, men shall be afraid, house is gonna be destroyed. It's gonna be, people just like I say, breaking into your house. Is martial law troops coming through, dragging you at your house and take you to a concentration camp. So that's the times that we're in. But I'm saying, let's see. So I'm in office 2 Ezra 15:19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So that's what's coming to America, Babylon Great. Nobody's not gonna have no pity. Nobody gonna have no sympathy for ain't no man or woman who ain't gonna have no sympathy for no other man or woman. Hey, they trying to survive. It's it's either you or me mindset. So, you're gonna have people, killing, one another for goods, because there's gonna be a lack of resources that's gonna come about here in America, Babylon Great. A lot of things gonna stop. Things gonna stop, being produced. I'll say, I could say being bought into America, and then like with the truck situation, right? You're gonna have the truckers that bring in the goods from the from the ships, so like from the ships, bring them in, from the docks, they bring in the food and stuff, everything that come from the ship, from the docks, and resources and products and all that stuff. So I'm coming to a point where that's that's gonna shut down. It's gonna be a cutoff. It's gonna be a cutoff point, man. Especially with like I say, this situation with Iran and with the oil, and all that, and then you got China, Russia, so could get involved. We'll see. Right now, they still, they're really, not doing that right now, but it's gonna come to a point where it's gonna be a cutoff point of resources and goods, coming to America, and it's gonna stop. Like I say, gonna be a lack of resources and food in America. It's gonna be dwindling, and that's gonna come, So, with that, I didn't want to make this too long. So again, I like about praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Kakadash, to the apostle elders, to the sister brothers, to the few Akwaf sister to do listen, keep the faith, and Yahushua keep fighting with that. Say shalom.